Now, government is expected to get out of the 5 local banks recapitalized through the Ghana Amalgamated Trust in 2019 by next year. There were concerns that the Finance Ministry was hiding behind this special purpose vehicle to take over the banks after injecting 800 million Ghana cedis into the operations. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Chief Executive of the Trust, Otoo, insisted there was no plan for government to take over the banks.
Bank of Ghana, again, in working with them, had done all the analysis and provided us the estimate. So for Prudential Bank, as an example, the estimate was about 250 million. Similar for UMB. And then for ADB and Omnibasic, these were in the hundreds, so about 130 million cedis. And then, of course, we had some transaction costs and some funding required to run the GAT office itself. So all of that came up to the 800 million. But to your point, each bank got the funding required by the regulator in order to be fully recapitalized so they could continue their operations.
These monies, was it done in the form of a credit or is going to be converted into an equity?
Okay. So these were all structured, again, using the private equity model as equity investments into the banks. So for each bank, and that's why I indicated, we operated on the private equity model, but analyzed the situation for each bank on a standalone basis, because each company, each bank is a little different. And we worked with a team. It wasn't just the GAT board or the GAT secretariat, but worked with a team of advisors in order to do this. So a lot of the financial and tax analysis and due diligence was conducted by PwC for all the banks that we were looking at back then. And so they came up with insights into the financial health and helped us to then do our valuations and analysis that helped us then to structure the equity investments into each specific bank on a bank-by-bank basis. And these were all on commercial terms, because the funds we gave to support the banks were expected to be recouped later on with hopefully a return, so that we can then return it to the original source of funds